Right then, into the quest proper, resource for each hero, and then 4 additional cards, 1 as normal, and then 3 more for a restore. I was really hoping to get one of our discard card effects, because those are amazing on the first turn. Technically, the Guardian of Rivendell is sort of a discard card effect, because in addition to his cost, you've got to discard cards. Rivendell Blade is just so good. Honor Guard, awesome. And the Silver Harp is pretty amazing. After a card is discarded from your hand, exhaust the Silver Harp to return that card to your hand. Given the amount of discard effects that can be built up in this game, that is just so powerful. Now, I'm torn because I could burn Treebeard for resources and then use a Galadrin Weaver to put him back into my deck. Downside that, I mean, basically, I'm definitely playing the Gondorian Shield. Like, there's no way that's not happening. I've got my MAE deck in the correct order. Yeah. So we'll spend 1 from Mablung to put the Gondorian Shield onto him. Now, problems that we have is I could go Elrond's Council and then Galadrian Weaver to put it back in. Or I could burn Treebeard to get a resource, then use Galadrian Weaver to put him back in. There is another copy of Treebeard in the deck. But if I do that, then I won't have enough resources to play the Guardian of Rivendell, which if I burnt a card in order to give Mablung another resource, I would have 3 resources needed to play the Guardian, and I'd have plenty of cards to discard in order to pay for him. But that would be the only card I play. Otherwise, it would be... I can't play the Rivendell Blade because I can't give Mablung a resource. So it would be... There's not really another effective way to do it, because I could put 2 resources onto Arwen, which would make me play the Silver Harp, which, to be fair, is really, really powerful. And then we keep a Restore's resource. Or we play the Guardian of Rivendell while we've got the cards to discard. Ugh, really tough decision. I mean, playing the Galadrian Weaver, there's no way to play the Galadrian Weaver, basically, this turn, unless that's the only thing I want to play, which is really unfortunate, like losing 2 of them. Right, well, I'm using Elrond's Council. I don't think I'm going to play the Galadrian Weavers. I feel like if I put out the Guardian of Rivendell, I can quest with a Restore and potentially Mablung this turn without any guilt. And he's expensive, and he requires card discard. But the Silver Harp is so good, because it keeps my hand full, which means I can use my discard abilities more often, but I don't have any more of those yet. Do you know what? We're going with the... So, discarding a card... discarding a card in order to give... doesn't matter who I give the resource. Arwen, another resource. Playing the Guardian of Rivendell, where I must discard 2 more cards. Playing Elrond's Council to lower my threat by 3, which takes me down to 26, and give +1 quest to Arwen. So, questing, I'm going to send Arwen and a Restore, and I'm going to send Mablung as well. I know we got that Gondorian Shield, but at a pinch, the Guardian of Rivendell can defend, and I want to take this opportunity to get as much questing done as possible, because I need 3 progress on there in order to go to the Secret Chamber. So the City Ruins, forced, after placing any amount of progress here, trigger the topmost scour effect in the discard pile if able. So that's 3, nothing from Belloc at the moment, 4, 5, 6. And we've quested with 2, 5, 7, 8 from Elrond's Council. So that's 2 progress there. We're going to go to the Ruined Plaza. Admittedly, going to the City Ruins wouldn't be bad. Going to the City Remains, actually, is a better idea, because when we put progress on there, it's going to trigger the top scour effect in the discard pile, and there aren't currently any scour effects in the discard pile, and it removes 3 progress from the staging area rather than just the 2. We'll have to take the risk with the thing there. And sending Mablung was definitely the right thing, because I haven't even got any enemies to fight. And, the Guardian of Rivendell's only 1 will anyway, so it would have been too big a gamble to send him just for 1 will. So threat goes up to 27. Discard my cards. I'm going to discard them so that Silver Harp and Treebeard are on the Silver Harp is on the top in case I draw my third Gladrin Weaver. Right, so we've got a Gondorian Shield, Henmather of the Song, Dwarven Tomb, and the Mithlond Sea Watcher. So, unfortunately, because we didn't engage anything that round, we're not going to be able to afford to play... Oh, sugar, I didn't actually pay for the Guardian of the Rivendell. There we go, that's slightly less embarrassing now. So we can't afford to play the Mithlond Sea Watcher, which is unfortunate. But we can afford to play Henmather of the Song, and he's an absolute boss, so we'll do that. And at this point, then, we're just burning cards to give out resources. So I will burn Gondorian Shield to give a resource to a Restore. And then I'll keep these two cards in hand. Now, I can exhaust Henmather of the Song to have a look at the top card of the discard pile. I don't think there are any, do 1 damage to exhausted characters, so I'm going to do this, because if we don't get an enemy, then I'm going to send the Guardian of Rivendell as well. So what are we going to draw? The Collapse Tower. Ugh, Surge. Great. So I can't justify sending the Guardian of Rivendell. Damn, Surge really gets round that effect. So Arrestor's going, Arwen's going, and Mablung is going. We draw the Collapsed Tower, Surge, and a Scourge return this location to the staging area and place 2 damage here, which is horrific. And Desecrated Ruins. When revealed, place 3 damage on the active location. Now, well, that is really annoying because that gets rid of City Remains. Oh, we need to remove the time counter, which puts it under the Orc Search, which means now Belloc is going to be producing threat. And we need to increase our threat by an additional point every turn. So that's really, really bad. Really bad. There we go. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threat. We're questing with 7 quests, so that puts 2 onto the quest. Right, we will travel to the Ruined Plaza. Damn, that's annoying. So, threat goes up by 2 because the Orcs have searched that location. Everyone comes back. Henmath readies. Discard cards. I'm going to put the Dwarven Tomb on the top in the hope that I can send it through. 4 cards and 3 resources. Right, Henmath. Let's see what we're looking at. Right, City Remains. Right, okay, so we don't need any combat. But what we need is questing. So, looking at the hand, we've got Elrond's Council, Imladris Caregiver, Elven Light, and Gladrin Weaver. Right, easy peasy. So, Elven Light can only be played from your discard pile anyway. Gladrin, I can afford everything. So, do I want to shuffle back in Dwarven Tomb or Elrond's Council? I think I want to shuffle back in Elrond's Council. So, because with that card going under Orc Surge, it's only going to get worse. So, Elrond's Council lowers my threat by 3, back down to 26, and I'll increase Arwen's Quest. I'll play the Gladrin Weaver for 1, which shuffles Elrond's Council back into the deck. I mean, we could have gone to the Secret Chamber, actually, and got that done, but that is only 1 threat. And I kind of feel like maybe I want a bit more board presence, maybe? I don't know. It's tough. Then I'm going to burn Elven Light for a resource to a Restore. And then a Restore will spend 2 resources to play the Imladris Caregiver. We have nothing to heal at the moment. But we might as well play the card. We need the quest. So I know there's no enemy coming out this round. So I'm sending Mablung, Arwen, Arrestor, Guardian, Weaver, and Caregiver. It's the City Remains. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 2, 4 because of Elrond's Council. So that's 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 versus 6 is 5 progress. So 2 goes on to Ruined Plaza. 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 versus 6 was 5 progress. So that's 2 onto Ruined Plaza and 3 onto the main quest. Now again, we could go to the Secret Chamber, but I'm going to go to the City Remains because we don't currently have a Scour effect in the discard pile. So it makes sense to get City Remains out of the way, and it's a really big threat. So again, everyone comes back. I tell you, how much rubbish was the dwarf talking about? All the orcs threatening the area. No one's blinking come out. We draw back up to 4 cards. We put out 3 more resources. And what have we got? We've got some Lembus. We've got a Welling Hall Preserver, an Honour Guard, and an Elven Spear. Now, the Honour Guard isn't as required because we have the Imradris Caregiver. The Welling Hall Preserver is an absolute boss, and the Elven Spear is never a bad thing to see. So, before we make our decisions, let's use Henmath to see what's occurring. Right, some of those orcs we've been hearing about. Oh, bugger. Are we on the 3rd? Was that the end of the 3rd turn? I've been completely forgetting the time counters. And threat should have gone up by 2. No wonder I'm making this game so easy. Let's see. First turn, we played the Guardian of Rivendell. Second turn, we played Henmath. Third turn. Right. So the time counters ran out. Yeah, that's upsetting and annoying. So that means that we would have triggered each Scour effect in play, which means we would have put 2 damage onto the collapsed tower and returned it to the staging area, which it already was in the staging area. 3 more time counters go there, and Bellox means that we would have searched for an Orc, which means we would have had to look through the deck, because there aren't any in the discard pile. So our possible Orcs, so this has changed what's coming out of the deck. So we could have an Orc Hunter, we could have an Orc Skirmisher, we could have a Bellox Scout. I mean, that's almost certainly not going to get picked. And we could have a Prowling Orc, which is also absolutely horrific. And are there any other Orky options available? No, there aren't. So those are all my choices. So I've got 4 possible Orcs I could pick. And shockingly, they're all absolutely horrible. So, I mean, just the murderous stats on there are absolutely vile. Belloc Scout is when he's revealed, place 3 damage on the active location or reveal another card. Goodness gracious. Orc Skirmisher. After he engages a player, that player must either deal 3 damage to a character he controls or remove 1 time counter from the current quest. And he hits like a mule. Now, we can actually do that damage because we've got the Imradris Caregiver, so we can actually heal that up. So it's going to be the Orc Skirmisher or the Orc Hunter, who is either reveal an additional card or remove 1 time counter from the current quest. You can't be revealing additional cards. So we'll pick the Orc Skirmisher. Dearie me. This is where it all goes horribly, horribly wrong. Because we can engage him, but we can't really hurt him very much at the moment. We're not a very attacky group. I mean, we can take the hit from the Skirmisher and then heal up that person with the Caregiver. But, right. So, Henmath now looks at the top card of the deck, which is, Prowling Orc. Forced after he attacks, place 1 damage on the active location. When we get a Scour, he engages the player with the highest threat and makes an immediate attack. Oof. So that is going to be another 3 threat. So that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9 threat. Oisky poisky. Right, okay. So Elven Blade is going on to a Restore. And then the question is what we do with all of this. Now, obviously, a Welling Hall Preserver is going to be massive for the quest. I could Lember Spread, and that would... Lember Spread could be pretty helpful because I could actually use that as a readying and a healing effect, which would mean I could just use the Honor Guard to absorb a bit of the damage as well, potentially. Because I'm going to be generating some more resources from Mablung anyway. The problem is if I burn the cards to play more cards, I'm not powering Elven Spear. I mean, how much can we actually hit that Orc Skirmisher for? He's going to need 6 to kill him. We can hit him for 2. Oh, he's going to do 3 damage, let alone defending. So we can do 2 from the Guardian of Rivendell, and that's about it. Like, we actually can't hit him back particularly impressively unless we use the Elven Spear, and even then we'd need to discard more cards. We'd need to discard 2 cards. So we can't play the Welling Hall Preserver and discard enough cards to kill him with the Elven Spear. And given that we've got that other Orc in the area, we're really going to need to get on top of that. So we're going to need the Guardian of Rivendell and a Restore and Mablung to take down that Orc, which means against all that threat, we're only questing with 3, 4, 5 against that quest. Now, I could use Elven Light, actually, which is in my discard pile, which would put that in my hand and I draw a card, which would give me a few more cards, which seems like it would be a pretty blinking good idea, actually, because I don't have a use for Arwen's resources at the moment anyway yet. So let's go for that. Spend a resource to play Elven Light, which means it goes back into my hand and lets me draw a card, which is the Steed of Imladris. Oh, more discard card effects. Why did I keep the Silver Harp? So, now the Elven Spear has a limit to 3 times a phase, which means I only need to do it twice anyway. Man, that Orc Skirmisher is going to be an absolute monstrous beast. The other option is that rather than fighting the Skirmisher, I fight the Prowler, who hits for 5, but, you know, we can... Oh, no, he's got... We don't have anywhere near the attack to take that down yet. Because even, you know, we take the 5 on Mablung, we can only hit back for 5, 6, 7, which means we can't kill him in one go, whereas we can kill the Skirmisher in one go. So it feels like playing the Welling Hall Preserver is a good idea. We'll need 2 cards to power up the Elven Spear. So that means that we could play 1 more of these. Now, if we play the Steed of Imladris, we can't use it this round. And at the moment, we already have quite a few discard effects, so maybe we don't play the Steed of Imladris. The Lember Spread would mean we could quest with a Restore this round as well, and then we could spend it to heal him from the damage that the Orc Skirmisher will do, rather than burning cards from the Imladris Caregiver. The Honor Guard would mean that we could reduce the damage that we take, which would be pretty significant. Man, these are really tough decisions. This is why this game's so good. Right, well, first of all, let's get rid of Elven Light to give a Restore a resource. Then let's play the Welling Hall Preserver, because he is someone who is just going to give back and back and back. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to go with the Honor Guard. I think we're just going to have to take the hit on the threat. So spend 2 from the Honor Guard, because now, when that Orc Skirmisher engages, we can put the 3 damage onto the Welling Hall Preserver. But I can exhaust the Honor Guard to cancel a damage, which means the Welling Hall Preserver will take 2 damage, and then when he readies, he'll heal 1 of it, so it will just take care of the healing without having to use Lembas or the Imladris Caregiver. I think this is the right thing to do. We will see. So, let's shift our tableau slightly. Oh dear. I'm not sure we're going to come out of this, but as long as we keep our board state, then we're just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So questing. So Arwen is going, the Caregiver's going, and the Weaver's going. It's an Orc Prowler. So that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 against 5 means we get... Oh, that's the oven finished. We get threat up to 32, which is a problem. But there we go. We can't go anywhere. And so we voluntarily engage the Orc Skirmisher, which gives a resource to Mablung, puts 3 damage onto a character. We exhaust the Honor Guard to cancel 1 of the damage, making it 2 damage, onto the Welling Hall Preserver. So given that the Gladrian Weaver is not going to do anything other than quest, I'm just going to group her underneath the Caregiver. He's giving her care. Or she's giving her care. It's hard to tell with the Caregiver. Right, so the Skirmisher is going to attack. He's going to attack Mablung. Excess damage dealt by this attack must be placed on the active location if able. There is no excess damage because it's 4 attack and 4 defense. Mablung is exhausted, and then we hit back with the Guardian of Rivendell, a Restore, and we discard 2 cards. Thank you, Oven. And we discard 2 cards to power up the Elven Spear, killing the Skirmisher. So, you know, not a perfect turn by any means, but we're getting there. 2 threat because of the 1 card under Orc Search. Everyone readies. When the Welling Hall Preserver readies, he heals a wound. I'm going to put the Welling Hall Preserver up with these guys because they are all the questy squad. And Honor Guard, you can go back with Henmath because you're utility squad. And then a resource for everyone. And for cards. So we've got an Imradris Caregiver, my first Will of the West, a Wandering Ent, and To the Sea, To the Sea. Okay. So, To the Sea will make all my Noldor cheaper. There are a lot more Noldor to come, so that... Okay, well, what would you like me to do, Oven? Do you want me to open you? Does that make you happier? Oh. There we go. The oven has stopped having a heart attack. So, we can't play the Caregiver and the Wandering Ent, but we don't need another Caregiver. We do need another Wandering Ent. So I'm going to have to discard a card to power that up. So I will discard the Imrad... Oh, hang on. Henmath, what do your elven eyes see? Ah, Desecrated Ruins. Crap. So that's going to destroy the city remains. And that's going to mean that... Oh, I forgot to get rid of a time token. And I'm going to put a time... I feel like I'm going to put a time token on top of my deck. Some sort of reminder. Or I could put the time tokens, actually, put them next to the threat dial, because I keep forgetting them. I'm out of time token practice. So we definitely need the Wandering Ent being played. So I'm going to discard the Imradris Caregiver to give another resource to a Restore. Spend a Restore's 2 resources to put the Wandering Ent into play. Now, if the Welling Hall Preserver doesn't go on the quest, and we don't really need progress, there's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 threat. And we're going to be questing with at least 3, 4, 5. If we could fight the Prowling Orc, we need 8 to kill him. Now we can take the hit with Mablung, and we could hit back with a Restore, Garden of Rivendell, and the Welling Hall Preserver for 6, and then I could discard 2 cards to get it to 8. Now the problem we have there is that we take more threat, but we've got to get the Prowling Orc out of that staging area. I think this is the right thing to do. So I'm going to hold on to these 2 cards. Or I could spend 1 for Elven Light to draw some more cards, which would mean I could potentially play To the Sea, To the Sea. Do you know what? I'm going to do that. So spend a resource to play Elven Light, which puts it into my hand and draws me a card, which is another Wandering Ent. Then I'm going to... Why did I think this was a good idea? What does this do? Why did I think this was a good plan? There's no point powering up Elven Spear anymore, and I've already discarded a card to power up. Why on earth did I do that? So I could play To the Sea, To the Sea. Thank you for remembering that your brain actually works. Right, there we go. Super duper. And so we can power up Elven Spear a bit more, not that it will be required. So, questing, Arwen's going. I can't send the Welling Hall Preserver. Imradris Caregiver and the Gladrian Weaver. It is Desecrated Ruins, which means it destroys city remains. which powers up Orc Search, which makes Belloc more dangerous. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 threat, and 3, 4, 5, which means threat goes up by 2. Then we will voluntarily engage the... Oh no, we need to travel to a location. Do you know what? Let's get to the secret chamber. So we travel to the secret chamber, which removes 3 progress from the quest. We engage the Prowling Orc, giving Mablung a resource. The Prowling Orc attacks Mablung. Defending player exhausts a character he controls. Haha! The Honor Guard, who's only here to cancel damage anyway, exhausts, meaning we have enough strength to do this. It means he can't stop the damage on a Mablung, but that's fine because we have cards to use with the Imladris Caregiver. So that's 5, which is a wound. When he attacks, you place 1 damage on the active location. Then we hit back with 2 from a Restore, 2 from the Guardian Rivendell, 2 from the Welling Hall Preserver. We burn 2 cards to get it to 8, which kills the Prowling Orc. I burn the last card to heal a wound from Mablung. Threat goes up by 3. Not good. Remove the time token. The plan's working already. Welling Hall Preserver readies, which heals the last wound on him. So, you 2 questers, just go over there because you're always questing. Welling Hall, you will probably quest, but you might not. Wandering, you're the same. Honor Guard and Henmath, you have very limited jobs, so just hang down there, buds. You guys go there. And let's draw 4 more cards. Right, okay, so we've got the Sylvan Refugee, a big bucket of quest. We like that. We've got Protector of Lorians, boosting quest for card discard. We like that. And Lindir, who after he enters play, if you have less than 3 cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. And he's got some quest. So this feels like things that we need to do. Now, I can only make a Noldor 1 at cheapest with 2 the sea, 2 the sea. So if I wanted to, I could discard 2 cards to make Lindir 2 cheaper. That means that I won't be able to play all the cards in my hand. So I'm going to put a Protector of Lorien onto a Restore, because when I get the Light of Valinors that are in my deck, he'll be able to quest and attack, or quest and defend. So it's just more valuable than putting it onto Arwen. Then we're going to exhaust 2 the sea, 2 the sea, discard the Protector of Lorien and the Sylvan Refugee. I know that like 1 for 2 is incredible, but if a character leaves play, the Sylvan Refugee's gone, which is really annoying. To spend 1 resource to play Lindir, who's going to go up with my questing group. If I have less than 3 cards in my hand, draw it until I have 3 cards in my hand, because worst comes to worst, if I can't play these, I can just put them, earn them for Protector of Lorien. Oh no, Light of Valinor, and we cannot play it. And we've already... No, we haven't burnt a card to give a resource yet. Have we? Did we burn Protector? No, because we used 2 the sea, 2 the sea to make things cheaper. So I can... Oh man, what a great hand though. Rivendell Blade would be amazing given how high the defences are out there. Elrond's Council is essential because we need to lower threat. And Light of Valinor is obviously just absolutely key. I'm going to have to get rid of the Rivendell Blade to give Arwen a resource to spend 1 for Light of Valinor. Oh, I haven't even looked at what the card was. Henmath, what's coming, pal? No, it's an Orc Hunter. Ugh. Oh, no. No, no, no. We do not like. And I'm going to play Elrond's Council to lower my threat by 3 and increase my quest by 1. Right. So when that Orc Skirmisher comes out, I've either got to remove a time counter, which will remove all the time counters, which will mean all the scour effects will happen, which means Collapsed Tower will put 2 damage on itself here, burning it and putting another card under Orc Search. And I'm going to have to put another Orc into play anyway, or I reveal another card. I think revealing another card is the right play here. So, even though that means I can't plan my turn perfectly, but even if I could plan my turn perfectly, I would have to get another Orc from Belloc and put it into play, and realistically that would probably be an Orc Hunter. And it would power up Belloc and Orc Search, and then my threat is already a problem. So I think taking the extra card is the way to go, which means planning out my turn is a lot harder. So, questing, Arwen, Arrestor. I don't actually need too much strength in order to beat to death an Orc Skirmisher. So you guys go questing, because realistically we need to get this done. And Welling Hall Preserver can go. That gives me enough answers if something comes out. So, Orc Hunter will reveal an additional card. Broken Lands. While Broken Lands is in the staging area, progress cannot be placed on locations in the staging area. No problem at all. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4 from Elrond's Council. 5, 6, 7. So everything else is gravy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Secret Chamber finished. Thank God. Which means Celebrimbor's is free of the thing, which means the first player claims it and attaches to a hero he controls. Well, Arrestor. Go for it, mate. You may as well hold the lot. You're a protector of Lorien with the Variety of Valanir and an Elven Spear, so you seem very qualified. So that means we're just done with the Secret Chamber, which means we need 14 progress onto the ruins of Ost in Edhill. So, in a moment, we're going to trigger all the Scour effects anyway, so there's no point going to the Collapsed Tower, so we may as well go to the Broken Lands, because we can't leave it there, we've just got to get it done. Oh, yeah, and then we'll engage the Orc Hunter, who has no engagement effect, but gives Mablung another resource. I'm hoping we'll see another Treebeard soon, and he can buy it. Orc Hunter attacks Mablung, place 1 damage on the active location. It's not a problem. It's got 6 life, so it can take it. No damage to Mablung, and we beat him to death with through a variety of means. End of the round, threat goes up by 3. Last time token removes. 2 damage goes onto there, and we have to draw an Orc. I don't really want to take the Orcs I don't mind seeing away from the deck. I actually think that taking a Belloc Scout right now is a good idea, because they could be horrific at the wrong time. So I'm going to take a Belloc Scout out the deck because of Belloc's ability, and add it to the staging area and put 3 damage onto Broken Lands, because I think it can take it. Everybody else comes back and readies. There's no damage to heal from the Welling Hall Preserver. Oh gosh, this is getting tight. Right, resource for everyone. Okie dokie, we've got a Will of the West, which means we have to play it because it's our last Will of the West, and otherwise we might run out of cards. That means we're going to be shuffling things back in. We've got 1 million resources on Mablung, so let's play Skinbark, who is particularly nice because when he attacks alone against an Orc enemy, it doesn't even count his defense. So Skinbark is basically going to be squashing an Orc a turn for us, and we've got the resources to burn, so why not play them? No hope of playing the Welling Hall Preserver. Wingfoot would be ace on Mablung, because it will mean we'll get 2 more quests every turn, guaranteed, because Henmath can tell him what's coming. We should probably play Will of the West now, so that we don't end up accidentally discarding it or something like that. I'll discard Welling Hall Preserver to give Arrestor a resource, and then I will spend Arwen's resource to play Will of the West, which shuffles my discard pile into my deck. You know, we might lose this quest, and maybe I've made some decisions that aren't their absolute best, but man, I love this deck. Like, it's just really fun. There's just so many decisions that you get to make along the way. Like, Lord of the Rings is a game that's got a lot of decisions anyway, but there are times where you're just at the mercy of what comes out the deck. But, like, God, the amount of little decisions this deck lets you make is really fun. I know there are probably ways I could make this deck better, but I do really, really enjoy it. I really should have looked at what Henmath was going to tell me was coming, actually, being a professional. Ooh, another Belloc Scout. So if I put 3 damage on the active location, that will break it, which would make Orc's Search more powerful. It's already... Oh, I put that in the wrong place. Orc Search is already up to 3, which means we're getting 4 threat a turn, which is a little bit problematic. So we're probably going to have to just draw another card from Belloc Scout. Right, so questing. Mablung's going. He's exhausting Wingfoot to name an enemy. So I'm not even going to bother exhausting him because he's just going to automatically ready. Arwen's going. Arrestor's going. Wellinghall, Lindir, Imradris, and Gladrin Weaver are all going. I feel like that's all we're going to send. See, I could just let this trigger, and then that would mean that there would be 2, 4, 8 threat in the staging area. I would be questing with 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, which would be 6, which wouldn't be enough to finish the ruins. But if I also sent the Wandering Ent, that would be 8, which would still not be enough. So what on earth am I talking about? Yeah, so actually we should probably we should not let the Broken Lands get broken. So let's send that. Belloc Scout, I'm going to reveal an additional card rather than let his effect trigger. Great. The card is Desecrated Ruins, which smashes up the Broken Land anyway, which is another card under the Orc Search. Oh, man. Well, we've hit those treacheries really painfully. Really, really painfully. So that takes Belloc up to 8 anyway. So that essentially just did what it was going to do. What would have happened if it was a shadow? It's like he only gets +1 attack. Oh, God, that's nothing as a shadow. Oh, man. Well, we're in a bit of a pickle now. So that's 8, 2, 5, 7, 8. So that means we put on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 progress. Unless we get some very fortunate draws of Elrond's Council, we are not going to get through this before we get threated out. 5, 6. Right. We can only voluntarily engage one of them, so we engage a Belloc Scout, puts a money on Mablung. Belloc Scout attacks Mablung. Attacking enemy gets +1 attack. Nothing, bounces off, and we cut into ribbons. Right, threat up by 5, which means we've only got 2 more turns. Time counter goes away. Everything readies and draws some cards. Oh, that's not good. A whole hand and no Elrond's Councils. Or Elven Light, so we could draw some more cards. Right, resource, resource, resource. That's also the Will of the West, but realistically I'm not getting through my deck in time anyway. So, Henmath, what's coming? It is the Ruined Plaza. Okay, cool. So we'll finish the first stage now, and then we've basically got to do the next stage in one go, which isn't probably possible. Oh dear, 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 dear. Right, so... Right, let's discard the Gondorian Shield to give a resource to Arwen. Spend Arwen's 2 resource to give her the Silver Harp, which means after we discard a card from our hand, exhaust the Silver Harp to return that card to our hand. So, the Ruined Plaza is going to mean that it's going to be 2. That's 2 there. There's 4 there. That's 8. So we need 4 more than 8. We just need to send 12. So Mablung is going, he's naming a location. Arwen is going, Arrestor is going, so that's 2, 5, 6, 7. This little squad is going, 8. So then we need the 4 on top of that. So Lindir isn't going to quest. Right, so there's what we need. Ruined Plaza comes out. And that gives us enough progress to do this, which means at least we get to the second stage. We can lose with some dignity. The enemy's servant. You have just recovered a partial ring mould from Celebrimbor's secret forge when you are struck from behind. You look up to see Belloc holding the mould and gloating. Fools, my master will be pleased. As he turns to leave, he shouts to his servants, kill them. You must escape the orcs and recapture the mould. When revealed, trigger each scour effect currently in play. Belloc makes an attack against the player who controls Celebrimbor's mould, then attach Celebrimbor's mould to Belloc. We'll do all that in a moment. 12 progress. Time 3. Forced. After the last time counter is removed from this stage, trigger each scour effect in play. Put 3 more time tokens on there. Unless there is at least 12 progress on this stage, Belloc is immune to player card effects and cannot be engaged. If the players cannot win while Celebrimbor's mould is attached to... Unless it's attached to a hero. If we beat the stage, we win. So, scour effects. Place 1 damage on the active location. There isn't one. Find an orc. We'll find the one that chucks out 3 damage when he engages, because that's fine with me. And Belloc makes an attack against the first player. Who would we like him to hit? He can hit Mablung. No threat, no plus attack, which means 1 wound, which I am just going to let happen onto him because I'll hold back the Honor Guard for an attack that actually does something to someone. Right, so we should go to the Ruined Plaza, and then both of these engage us anyway, so that's a resource to Mablung. Oh, hang on. No. Oh no, we're okay. We're okay. So I've either got to remove a time counter or deal 3 damage to a character. I mean, realistically, I'm probably not going to run out of time. But why force my hand in that regard? I'm going to put 3 wounds onto Arrestor. Celebrimbor's mould goes onto Belloc. Right, so these two needed the same amount to kill. Skinbark can kill either one of them by himself. So that takes care of that. In terms of defense, so Arrestor can get up to 4, maybe 5, depending on my timing structure. Attack, which means he only needs to get to 4. Oh no, if he gets to 5, he and Lindir can kill the other orc. So that means I need the Guardian of Rivendell and the Wandering Ent to take the hit. So the Guardian of Rivendell being hit by the Orc Skirmisher. If the attack destroys a character, nope. So that's 4, which would do 1 wound. The Honor Guard is going to exhaust himself to cancel that wound. And then the Belloc Scout on the Wandering Ent. If the attack destroys a character, nope. So that puts a wound onto the Wandering Ent, but that's fine because Wellinghall Preserver will heal him. Right, Arrestor. Discards 2 cards, exhaust the Silver Harp to put a card back into hand, to spend the extra card in order to increase his attack by 3 with the Elven Spear. He and Lindir double up to defeat the Orc Skirmisher, and then Skinbark crushes Belloc Scout by himself because he doesn't count his defense if Skinbark attacks him alone because he's an orc. Right, everyone readies. Threat goes up by 5, putting us on to 49 threat. 1 time token is removed. So, in theory, we need to complete the quest in order to engage Belloc and kill him in a single go. And that's how we win. Because we can't lower our threat enough without multiple Elrond's councils. Okay, so, cool. Here's the hand that needs to win the game in one turn. So, the Steed of the Nadris is massive, because it means we can get the Ruined Plaza out the way. So, let's play that for a start. Steed of the Nadris onto Arwen. Oh, Henmaster of the Song. What's occurring? Surge. Either deal 1 damage to each exhausted character or remove 1 time counter from the current quest. Well, we can remove 1 time counter from the current quest. Lembus. I don't see how this would be helpful because Arrestor's ready anyway and Mablung is ready anyway, so we don't need that. Honor Guard, even though we've got resources to burn to play him, we'd be better off burning him for quest or attack. And the Galadriel Weaver is the same to play, except we can't afford to play her, so we're better off burning her for quest as well. Now, we don't know, unfortunately, because of that surge effect, how much quest we need. But we know that we are going to get the Ruined Plaza done straight away when Arwen commits. We know we're going to have 3 cards because when we burn a card from Steed of Ladris, Silver Harp will let us put it back into our hand, which will mean we get +3 there. So that means we can quest with Mablung, Arwen, and Arrestor, and yes, Arwen's out the fight, but Arrestor will still be here, which will mean we'll have 2, 5, 7, we'll have 10 just from them. So now we need to look with Belloc. It doesn't really matter who he hits, because whoever he hits, it doesn't make any difference who's dead, because we either kill him this turn or we don't. So we need to do 11 damage in order to kill him. So, Skinbark is 4. Oh, Henmath, you're knackered, mate. So, Skinbark is 4. The Guardian of Rivendell is 2. Arrestor is 2. So that's 8. So we need 3 more to do the business. Which means, really... Oh dear. Now the other option is for that 3 more, I could instead use these for the Elven Spear. So that would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, I didn't even count the Wandering End. That's why. Right, why didn't I count the Wandering End? Because I was thinking about using him for questing. So that would be... If I did use him for questing... If I use him for questing or attack, it's the same thing because I'm discarding cards to do the effects either way. So that's 4, 6, 7, 8. Add 3 from 3 cards discarded for Elven Spear. Means he's dead. And he can hit Mablung. Which means we're questing... Actually, he doesn't even need to hit Mablung, come to think of it. He can just hit the Honor Guard. Because who cares if he kills the Honor Guard? Because in that means we don't need as much attack. So he can hit the Honor Guard. A Belloc. And then we'll then get hit by Mablung for 2, 4, 8, 10... and 1 card from Elven Spear is 11, which means I can use 2 cards with Elven Spear for questing, and I can send the Wandering Ent questing as well, which means we quest for 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which, depending on what comes out the deck, isn't enough. There is no way to get any more attack, and there is no way to get any more quest without failing the quest anyway. So we're going to have to do this and just see how it goes. So, Mablung, he's going to name Treachery, so he's ready. Arwen is exhausted. She's going to spend a card to put 2 progress onto Ruined Plaza. She's going to spend Silver Harp to put the card back in her hand. Arrestor is questing. Wandering End, Gladrin Weaver, Inradris Caregiver, Wellinghall Preserver, and Lindir. We draw Take Cover, which surges. We remove a time counter rather than deal damage. We draw the Prowling Orc, which I think means we lose the game because that's 3 threat there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 there. That's 7. So 7 threat is 7 will is all of these plus. So that means the progress we do is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which means we only do 11 progress. So I will burn another card with Protector of Lorien for 12. This means we haven't got enough attack to kill him, unfortunately. Which means 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 and 12, which means we can engage him, which we voluntarily choose to do, which gives Mablung another resource. They both get shadow cards. Belloc attacks the Honor Guard. Nothing. Honor Guard dead. The Prowling Orc does an undefended attack on Arwen. Arwen dead. And then we hit Belloc for 2 from Mablung, 2 from Arrestor, 2 from the Guardian Rivendell is 6, plus 4 from Skinbark is 10, leaving him on 1 wound, and then we threat out. So we lose essentially by 1 card. Man, crazy. If we could have had that extra card to play to bump up attack, we would have done it. Still, a good quest. I feel like we had some crazy draws. But there we go. Cool. On to the final quest.